All right, guys, what's up? What's going on? It's officially the day before the World Cup 2026 in the United States, Mexico, and Canada kicks off. I figured, I might as well jump on. Let's do a prediction. We'll go through the entire group stage. We'll go through the brackets. We'll do the knockouts. And we'll predict who's going to win this World Cup. Pretty awesome, pretty excited. Hopefully, I'm going to go to a game next Tuesday that's fairly close to me. So I'm super excited, super stoked to have the opportunity for the United States and Mexico and Canada to host this. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy around it. It's been very politically led in the lead up to the World Cup. But regardless of that, I just want to talk about the ball. Just want to talk about the Americans, the American team, the hope that we have this year, as well as all the other teams. So let's jump into it first and foremost. Let's just go and pull up the bracket here. So honestly, jumping directly into it, this first group, Group A, Mexico and South Africa, obviously kick off tomorrow. A pretty solid group. I mean, I think I feel confident saying that South Africa is going to be last place in this group. But between Mexico, Korea, and Czechia, I think it's really anyone's game. I'm going to go, I feel Mexico first just because the elevation, the advantage they get to have playing in Mexico City is huge. And then, I'm going to go Korea, Czech, and then South Africa, obviously, in fourth. Okay, so moving on to Group B. We're looking at Canada, Qatar, Switzerland, Bosnia. Again, I feel like the easier to almost start from the bottom in some cases here. I think probably Qatar in last, Bosnia in third. And then I'm going to go ahead and say Switzerland tops that group. It just feels right. It feels like Switzerland's a solid team. They've got some incredible players, and for some reason they always pop up in tournaments. They always seem to play really well in World Cup and Euros and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with that for Group B. Going into Group C here, Brazil, I think absolutely is going to win the group. I think they just got a lot of energy. I think they want it. I think they want it really bad. And obviously, it's not the strongest Brazil side we've ever seen, but I think they are feisty this year. I think they really want to attack it. I think they want to go forward. So I'm going to go Brazil first, Morocco second, as probably one of the better African nations. I think Morocco has been playing really fantastic. Obviously, I mean Hakimi's one of one. He's fantastic. So. I think Haiti is going to finish last in their group, so I put Scotland in third there. Maybe Scotland does something. We'll have to see as we get down the line. Moving along, Group D. I actually feel USA is underrated this World Cup. That's the first time I felt that. This will be my fourth World Cup that I've watched, really paid attention to. Obviously, the USA wasn't in 2018. But really, this is the first time I feel confident in USA team. I feel like we finally have the chemistry. The golden generation is really coming together. And obviously, I'm going to talk a little bit more about USA. It's my team. I feel confident. I think we're going to win the group. I really do. I know that's a hot take. I know there's a lot of bias there, but I think we're going to win the group. I think Turkey's going to come second. Obviously, they have crazy talent. Turkey is fantastic. I mean, Arda Güler is world class. Really, really a fantastic player. But I think we're just more well-rounded. I think especially because by the time we play Turkey, we'll have Chris Richards back and he'll be fully healthy. Whether he plays for Paraguay on Friday night, we'll have to find out and see. It's hard to really say. But that leads us into Australia and Paraguay fighting for the third place spot. Probably is going to be Paraguay. Even though Australia is a really solid team, I don't want to underrate them at all. I just think, I don't know, I like Paraguay a little bit more. I think they've got a bit more of an it factor than Australia does at the moment. So on to Group E. This is a cool site. It shows who's debuting in their first World Cup. That's pretty cool. So obviously Curacao, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, Germany. This one seems like a pretty straightforward group to me. I would be very surprised if it doesn't end Germany, Ecuador, Ivory Coast, Curacao. I feel confident about that one. Absolutely. That's the one I'd put money on if I had to bet a group, I think. So moving on to Group F here. We got Netherlands, I think, are a strong side. Tunisia is really good as well as Japan. I think Japan probably second, though. I think they got a strong team. I think a lot of people have been putting Japan first in this group, actually, which I understand. I think they're a fantastic club. But I'm going to go with Netherlands here. And then Tunisia and then Sweden in fourth. Even though it's a decent team, they've got some quality there, Gyökeres and everything, but I don't think it's their time yet. I think they're a little too early. I think Tunisia is more well-rounded. So on to Group G, we got Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Obviously, I hope everything works out with the Iranian national team. I hope they're able to play all their games. I hope their team's allowed to be there. Their coaches are allowed to be there. Obviously, I know there's politics involved, but I don't think it's just – obviously, I mean, politics aside, I don't think it's fair to the Iranian people that they get impacted by the decisions of their government. Obviously they do, that's life, whatever, but I hope everything works out great for Iran. I hope they're able to play their games. I hope politics doesn't get in the way. And if they do end up facing America at some point in the tournament, I hope everyone can be grown-ups and treat it like sport and love and unity instead of it being an issue. Regardless, Belgium's topping this group 100%, and then Egypt, and then probably Iran and New Zealand. That one's kind of in order. That's pretty laid up for us. Belgium, I think, is a strong side. I think they're very underrated this World Cup. I've loved Belgium. Kevin De Bruyne's been my favorite player for a long time since I really started watching ball. So I'm going to stick with the Belgians there to top that group. And Egypt, I think Egypt's solid. Obviously, Salah is fantastic. Marmoush, I think, is going to have a huge breakout World Cup. I think we're going to come away from this World Cup looking at Marmoush as a player that has to stay at City. So that moves us on to Group H. Again, a fairly straightforward one. Spain, Uruguay. Ooh, actually, between Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia, that's tough. Obviously, Saudi Arabia played really well in the last World Cup. Do I see between these? Probably Saudi's probably going to come third. All right, on to Group I. This is a pretty brutal group. I mean, there's a lot of strength here. Obviously, I think France is for sure going to win it. Norway, Senegal, and Iraq. Again, it seems straightforward, but maybe I'm just picking favorites every single time. I don't know if that's the smart thing to do, but it's difficult in a World Cup, especially one like this where there's no true real group of death. I think the groups are all fairly balanced in the fact that there's a fairly solid 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, it's not like there's one group that's like, oh man, it sucks that so and so is going to get knocked out in the group stages. Like, I think the teams that are going to win should win. Maybe obviously besides D, probably Turkey is favored over USA to win the group. But regardless, back down to J here. We got Argentina. I think confidently Argentina is going to do well. That brings us down to Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. Hopefully the game that I'm going to see is in San Francisco, the Bay Area. It's going to be the Austria-Jordan game. I'd really love to go see it. I might as well. I mean, it's a World Cup game. Even though it's not the most exciting group ever, it's still pretty cool to be able to say you've seen a World Cup game. So I'm going to try and get to it. Regardless, though, probably Algeria, and then Austria, and then Jordan. Group K, that brings us to Portugal topping the group confidently, Colombia, and then, Kusanov's going to get Uzbekistan through, and then Dominican Republic of Congo. Oh my gosh, Democratic Republic of Congo. And then that brings us to Group L. Yeah, it'll probably be a fight, honestly, this game. I really don't like this England squad very much. I think they're lacking a lot. I understand the whole playtime argument with Foden, and Palmer's been out of form, but, I mean, when you have players that good, you have to bring them. Every other club in the world, every national team in the world would have brought those players besides maybe France and Spain. So England's still probably going to top the group. Croatia, I think they're older. They've got some great young players coming up, but I don't really see it. And then between Ghana and Panama, probably Panama. So, all right, let's generate the bracket here. I obviously, let's go ahead and see. Let's pick. Can you guys see that fine on the screen? Yeah, that looks good. All right, so the first game of the round of 32 brings us Mexico versus Czechia. I'd probably go Mexico here, especially. I don't know where the game would be. It'd be cool if it told you where it would be, because if it's in Mexico, I think absolutely Mexico's going to win this. Man, that's a difficult game. Let's go with Mexico, though. I think just because they have the home fans there, and I think they got a little bit more bite to them hosting it than Czechia will have. So let's go with Mexico. Canada and Morocco. I'm pretty confident Morocco would win that game. I like the Canadian team. I really like, Jesse Marsh. I like their coach. I like their players. I think David up top's really fantastic, but I don't see him beating a team as well-rounded as Morocco. So Switzerland, Ivory Coast. Probably Switzerland here. And then Brazil, Korea. Brazil for sure. USA, Senegal. USA. I mean, we just beat Senegal, so I think we can beat them again. And then Ecuador and Japan. Shoot, this is a tough one, actually. This is a really good matchup here. I would be super stoked as a USA fan if this is how it turns out and we get to play either of these teams. Let's go with Japan. I think Japan will do it. And then Germany and Iran. Germany, I think, has a lot more quality. Netherlands and Turkey. Let's go with Netherlands there. All right, so that brings us to the right side of the bracket. Belgium and Austria. I'm just picking all the favorites. And, obviously, this is not how it's going to be. You're going to get things wrong. There's going to be upsets, but I feel pretty confident about this. Belgium, I think, would be Austria, Uruguay, and Norway. Let's go Norway. Let's back Holland. Obviously, he just played a game where he got like 8 touches in the whole first half, whatever, something crazy like that, maybe even less. But I think the Norwegians are going to figure it out. I think Odegaard's really good as well, and Uruguay. Actually, I probably really should go with Uruguay because they're a fantastic team. Oh yeah, let's go with Uruguay. I feel like I don't want to be too overly European biased too. I don't know. I feel like you pay so much attention to European clubs, you can forget the quality of South American and African teams. So let's go with Uruguay there. And then Spain versus Panama. I think it's a pretty confident win for Spain. France and Egypt. I think France win that one comfortably. Argentina for sure. Croatia, Colombia. This would be a really good game here. This could be really close. Let's go with Croatia. Yeah, I feel good about that. Portugal, Paraguay. Portugal, I think, is a heavy favorite in this World Cup. And then, that made 3 of Neves, Vitinha, Bruno Fernandes, and then even Bernardo Silva in there. That is such a good midfield, like fantastic good midfield. So, yeah, Portugal is winning that. And then England, Algeria. England better win that. I feel really confident they get that win. So, I feel pretty good right after under 13. Jumping into the 16 here. Mexico, Morocco. I think this is where Mexico's run is going to end. I think Morocco is going to end up winning that game. Swiss versus Brazil. Probably go with Brazil there. USA versus Japan. I think USA has more talent. And honestly, this would be obviously a historic World Cup if we were able to win 2 knockout games in it. And obviously we're hosting it. And I think versus Japan, like, it's a good team, but I really think we have the ability to pull something out there. So let's go with the USA to pull it off. Germany, Netherlands. Honestly, a closer game than it seems. I don't think Germany's as impressive as they've been in the past. I still think they would edge by Netherlands probably. Yeah, let's probably go Germany there. Okay, and then we're going to hop across to Belgium versus Uruguay. I think Belgium would win that game. I think Belgium's got a lot of quality, and I think especially if Kevin De Bruyne gets it rolling in his final World Cup, I think they could be really great. And I think Jeremy Doku is a huge attribute to that game. I think Doku is going to be massive this World Cup. Again, obviously I'm a City fan, so I've got my bias, especially calling out already Doku and Marmoush this World Cup. But I think Doku is going to be really great team. Ooh, Spain, France, a huge game in the round of 16. That would be quite unfortunate because it really should be the final, if not a semifinal. Oh man, Spain, France. Who do I think would win that one? France just lost a very shocking game. Obviously, it's a lead-up game, so it's not really playing for anything. But still, I mean, you expect France to win versus any top 10 team, really. So I think Spain's good. I think they lack a bit of clinical finishing, though. I think Mbappe in a World Cup, it's hard to bet against him, though. So I'm going to go with France. Argentina, Croatia. I think Argentina takes that one comfortably. Portugal, England. Sorry, England. I do hate to root against you, especially when you don't take Phil Foden. So, I'm going to go with Portugal there, which leaves a massive game there. All right, jumping back across, we got Morocco and Brazil. I think Brazil would win that game. That's a good run for Morocco. That's pretty deep for them. USA, Germany. My heart wants to say the USA. Like, I really do. Especially with how well we played against them in the first half of our last run-up game. But similar to the France game, it's a running game. The second half was all subs for both teams, so it's really not realistic. Let's say probably Germany's going to win that one. And then we have Belgium and France here. Probably, both the French-speaking countries. Obviously, Belgium speaks some German as well, but regardless, oh man, that could be a really good matchup. Really good. Let's go with France, just since we're kind of picking the obvious teams regardless. And then Argentina, Portugal. I think this is where Argentina's streak ends. I think Portugal would beat them in this scenario. I really just think the midfield is too much. I think they would have a hard time getting the ball consistently to Messi. And I think the back line of Argentina is quite weak in comparison to Portugal. So this is going to be our final 4. We got Brazil, Germany with a little 7-1 rematch. And then France, Portugal. So a little Euro 2016. Yeah, Euro 2016 rematch. So I think Brazil, Germany. I actually think Brazil would win that game. I really do. And then France versus Portugal in the other semifinal is going to go ahead and be. Ooh, that is tough. That's tough. I'm gonna go Portugal. I think that midfield threes, and I've said it many times this video already, but I think they're just fantastic. So that's gonna bring us with our Brazil versus Portugal, a little Portuguese-speaking finale, and obviously you have a. I mean, this would be an awesome game. I think Portugal would win that. So that's very surprising. I did not expect that to be my winner going into this, but I think that would be awesome send-off for Ronaldo. And there we go. That gives us our answer, Portugal. I don't know why the colors look weird on the video. I just realized that. But that's Portugal, even though it looks weird. But there's no green on there for some reason. Oh, it's the green on everything. I don't know. Who cares? Whatever. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And, yeah, let's see how this World Cup plays out and go USA.